What's happening, YouTube? Sean the Average Angler here, and we are going to discuss, talk, remind some of us. I looked at my analytics, right? It says 100% of my viewers are over 45 years old. I don't know if it's true. That's what it says. Take it for what it's worth. I don't think it means anything. Maybe we're all experienced, trying to share experience. I don't know. Anyway, today we're going to talk about, when I got into fishing, was a very popular finesse technique. Caught a lot of fish. You always had to have one rigged up, right? And to me, I'm guilty of it. I can't tell you the last time I had one rigged. And it caught so many fish. Now, granted, that technique was popular before the shaky head came about, before the Ned rig came about, before the Nico rig came about, and so many choices. I think sometimes we just forget. And that is, now if there's some youngsters here, you may not know what this is. I grabbed a bigger size just because visibility, okay, on the camera. That is a dart head, folks. And this one's got a very small hook in it, okay? But it's not really that small, because if you take a 4.5-inch worm, and I grabbed this for visibility too, I actually opened up an old box, and comment below if you have these too, right? An old Plano box of mine. And that's all you do, just thread it on. And we used to fish these down rocky bluff walls, points, whatever. You could swim them, you could shake them. Now they have the shaky head. I still think there's a time and a place. See, 4-inch drop shot. This box used to always be in my boat. Most of these are hand pours in here. This would be my box for clear water, Highland reservoirs type of stuff, right? And part of it is I don't get to those bodies of water in here as much anymore. Very simple yet effective rig. And quite honestly, you could fish just about anything you want on these. You look around for dart heads, you can find all different size of hooks. And it really didn't matter the size, whether it was an 1/8 ounce head or a 1/4 ounce like this one. You could get a 3/0 hook in there, and you could rig up a brush hog if you wanted to. Now you could also thread it like a shaky head and put it over the point. But if I was fishing a dart head, I always fished it this way. The key thing on a dart head, where the heck did I put the rod? Is having the proper rod. Now, I was guilty at times of probably fishing it a little too heavy, and here you'll see on this rod, I took out one of my employees and had him throwing, because it's a simple rig, right? That is a Reaction Innovations flirt worm. The rod is a 6'9" medium light, 1/16 to 3/8, 4 to 12 pound test. Medium light extra. And you can, yeah, let me stand up so I can get this rod in here for you. It's a pretty fast action tip, okay, for as light of a rod as it is. But the reason for the shorter rod, and honestly, on a day that isn't windy in wintertime, the 1/8 ounce head is money, right? And you want to just kind of swim it so that it's bumping those rocks as it's falling down the bluffs, points, flat points, steep points, whatever. You just wanted that dart head kind of swimming down, bump the rock, come off of it, go down to the next one. Very natural. And because of exposed hook, great hookup percentages. So why did we quit throwing them? I quit throwing them. I don't know about you, but I definitely don't hear them talked about much anymore. And it was always a great fish catching bait. This could be thrown with a swim bait, but believe it or not, when I opened the package up, it said dart head. I don't even know if this company's still around that made that head. But anyway, I used to throw it with just 6 or 7 pound fluorocarbon. Prior to that, 6 pound Yo-Zuri hybrid, I think is the line I used to throw prior to the days of fluorocarbon being a little more affordable to the average consumer. In the old days, it wasn't real affordable when it first came out. Now I've got 12 pound braid to, that's a little heavy, 10 pound leader. But when you're messing around at Clear Lake, I don't go under 10 pound for a leader. And that rod's pretty light for Clear Lake, for battling bigger fish, but hey, it works. If the line don't break, the rod's fine. And it's good enough to get, with the braid on there, it's good enough to get a good hook in the fish. So this, to me, is a forgotten technique, and one I think we need to remember sometimes, especially if the bite's a little tough. Think back when the bite's tough. Pull out some of those things that you used to do. And I had to go look in a different box. I put together a new terminal box recently, and there's shaky heads in there, there's Ned heads in there, there's core tackle, hover heads, whatever you want to call them in there. There's no dart heads. That's going to have to change because my first 2 tournaments this year are on Highland reservoirs. Will I use them? I hope not. I'm hoping to be able to power fish, but just because you hope doesn't mean that's how it's going to be. So next time you go out, post frontal conditions, that kind of thing, break out a dart head, toss it around, experiment. Be pretty simple. That's a purple something or other, I don't know. Some of these are so old. Some of these worms are so old. Matter of fact, let me show you this one, because this one's pretty cool. I don't know if you can still get them or not, but back in the day when I got these, this one here, these were so effective on Shasta. And this was their, I think they called it rainbow trout. Looks like rainbow trout on the top, but it's, I don't know if these have bled or whatever. These are probably close to 20 years old. But man, back then I remember we caught a fish close to 4 pounds on it for Shasta. That's a good fish, especially fishing a drawfish or a dart head, which is how I was fishing them back then. So again, the lighter line you can fish. I mean, if you can go straight 6 pound to like a 10 pound braid leader, and the smaller hook you can get away with, the better. One, it's going to snag less, and you can see there's plenty of bite there to hook the fish, right? Plenty of bite, and they're light wire hooks. That was a hand pour. I have so many dart heads that were hand pours. I bought them by the hundreds at a time when I ordered them, because a lot of times the stores didn't have a 1/0 or a size 1 hook in them. I actually have some 1/8 ounce with the number 1 hook in it instead of a 1/0. And sometimes, man, when they're really finicky, it's dead calm, high pressure. It seemed to make a difference, whether it was a slower fall or just the compact, slower profile. Now, I do at times, lead's fine. Never had a problem getting bit with lead. I've painted them. I think it's more of a catch the fisherman thing. There's times where it might make a difference, honestly. Now that I'm airbrushing, I'll probably airbrush some, try to make it look a little more with the worm. I don't know. Anyway, I was just thinking about that. Dart heading. Haven't done it in a while. So it's a damn good technique. It worked great back then. I know darn well it didn't stop working. We just kind of quit throwing it like so many other baits. Sean, the Average Angler, please like, comment, subscribe. Any one of those things you could do would be great. If you can do all three, bonus. All right, we're trying to grow the channel here, and we're going to get big. Look out, public. We're going to get big. Peace out.